How's it going, everybody? It's your girl Stell, but you can call me Sadie. You know, I really hate making Fallout videos like this now, especially when I said I wouldn't make another video like this for a while. But as expected, the moment I come back from my commentary retirement, I end up falling down a rabbit hole, no pun intended, when it comes to EmmetsPage. That rabbit hole would lead me to find out a metric ton of garbage that Emmett whipped out the waterworks for in his second apology is more of a twisting of events at best and purposeful obfuscation of the truth at worst. And while normally I would have had this as like a stream thing before I turn this into a video, I'm unfortunately going to be busy for the next few days, so this is just going to be what you're going to deal with, so there you go. What do I mean by what I said earlier? Well, one of the first bits of his second apology is about his past and how he would do a number of fucked up things that he would just do for the adoration of a far right-wing group that groomed him into being a hateful bastard. Well, funnily enough, only about half of that is correct. I have a couple of old videos that clear the air on which half I mean. Naturally, I'll leave the videos in the description so you can watch them for yourself, but I sat down, watched it a few times, took some notes, and here I am to give you those notes in as clean of a way as I possibly can. I don't cover absolutely everything mentioned in these videos, just the parts that are particularly interesting and the parts that kind of solidify my point overall, which is, oddly enough, most if not the entirety of the video, but I don't want to just be someone that recaps the entire thing. So, let's get started. First things first, he was never formally part of any far-right groups, at least from what I was able to glean. He was a former frequent poster on iFunny under his old alias of LimeLazy, where he would post a number of hateful things, like photos of his gay high school classmates in hopes that the audience he garnered there would make fun of them just for merely existing, and even posting a video of him outside of his brother's door while his brother was jorking it.
You hearing what this nigga's watching?
Yeah, I wasn't even joking about that one. But the only group that he was formally a part of was a small content creator group, again, at least to my knowledge, that regularly brought up their problems with him in hopes that he would either improve himself or get help. Get help with what exactly? Well, that's kind of where this devolves heavily. Here's just a little compilation of things in no particular order that he did, both in the view of this group that wanted to help him and also behind this group's backs. And I also just want you to keep in mind that he was around 17 when all this happened, like 3 or so years ago. He would portray himself as anti-porn despite having a trash bag full of sex toys, and would even joke about selling them to children, apparently. He also got ostracized from iFunny after it was revealed that he was a furry, and he would return to iFunny 2 weeks later to try and start drama, which would result in him getting doxxed. Now, obviously, I don't condone him being doxxed. That's obviously not okay. And I kind of feel bad that that actually happened to him. I do know that my own audience is smart enough to know this at least implicitly, but some people who are not familiar with me or just stumbling across this video, or might be some people that still are on his side for whatever reason, might need that clarification before they jump to conclusions. On his old LimeLazy channel, he would regularly insult children for having low-quality content, and there would even be a video or a clip of him getting upset that a trans meme was allowed on a subreddit that he frequented.
Alright, so I know I said that I wouldn't come back until June with, like, actual videos, but I think that this is a serious issue that needs to be talked about, and it's about Doge lore. It's about the subreddit Doge lore. It's been going really downhill lately in terms of the content that's being posted on there. For instance, this like picture that somebody drew that has like a kid, like fucking Frisk Undertale Doge with a trans shirt on. And I mean, like, you know, I have trans friends. More like I have one trans friend, but like, other than that, like, I think trans people are fucking disgusting. I know that my channel's probably gonna get terminated after I say that, but I legitimately think trans people are they're the scum of the fucking earth. God damn, I think Doge lore is fucking awful now. It used to be really good and funny. Now it's just gay, and it's all because of this one mod. There's this one mod that on Doge lore that wants to be treated like a queen because he's trans. And fucking breaking news here, buddy. Nobody gives a fuck. Kill yourself, you fucking faggot.
He would pretend to be in a relationship with a random girl on Discord, which would then evolve into him doxing her name for whatever reason. He also dropped his editor on his old channel because they would come out as trans, and would also try to get his associates to dox them to naturally no success. Speaking of manipulating acquaintances, he would manipulate a user by the name of Squizzle into sending a transphobic tweet, and would go on to slander Squizzle in a flaccid codex that's covered in significantly more detail in the video that I mentioned earlier.
My name on the internet is Squizzle, but my real name is Gavin, and I do animations and art, and I dabble with writing and stuff. Back in June, Lyman pressured me into making that tweet. He was telling me it was just a joke and that a bunch of people would have found it funny. So with me just turning 15 at the time and him being 17, I thought he had better judgment, so I made the tweet. But in reality, Lime was doing this because he thought I was hanging out with quote-unquote the wrong people.
He's also just always been an egotistical, hateful loser, even back during his Lime Lazy days, where he would boast about being better than other people, spew racial, homophobic, and transphobic slurs.
Can someone shut that mixed race little faggot up? This guy does look like a trans, I will admit. He does look like a fucking faggot. You are a nigger.
And would even go as far as to divulge his fantasies of torturing and killing his gay classmates, which would lead to him being investigated by the authorities, and would also lead to him abandoning his old alias of Lime Lazy. And that is basically all that's shown in this video and more. Let's try to be good faith here and go in with the assumption that he was groomed, either by a far-right group before he had a public image or by his audience on iFunny. If that is the case, how in the fuck does this excuse half of this shit? More than half of what I brought up here was never posted publicly and was only centered on Discord, with the public stuff being either shown off within the video, or the few things that he posted on iFunny that he would egg his audience on and insulting. How does it excuse him basically doxing someone that he liked and attempting to dox a former editor of his, with him trying to get his associates in on it, and especially how does it excuse what he has done recently, with him falsely labeling someone as a pedophile a year ago, and him insinuating that someone largely unrelated to Forsaken Situation is a possible pedophile, while going on an unhinged rant about fucking headcanons, and liking and supporting various transphobic comments underneath that video, at least until he wasn't getting praise for it. At best, it's a case of old habits dying hard, and at worst, it's him just straight up lying about his past. And he was around 17 back during the stuff that I mentioned. I feel like I need to hammer that point home again. He was 17, a few months away from turning 18. This guy is only 2 fucking years younger than I am. At this point, he just legit has zero excuse or defense in my eyes. Might have gotten a bit heated there, but that's probably my cue to leave the video here. I encourage you to watch the video below if you want more information, but with that, I hope I never have to make a video like this for a long time. But with that, this has been Stel, and as always, thanks for watching.